That's a common problem I have with a lot of TV shows. It's not to say that I have a problem with flawed characters. Like I like flawed characters. They tend
Yeah.
to be like my favorite character in Red Dwarf is Rimmer of all people because he makes that show work. When he
Yeah.
left, that's when the show went bad.
He
Because they
left?
lost their focus. They lost their in series 7. After the third, it's the best departure episode they could have had
Oh,
for him.
right, right.
Um,
Whenever he became that
he,
hero because it was like his destiny as one of the
Ace
Rimmers.
Rimmer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he came back. That's the great part about it. He came back.
Yeah, I mean, they had him become Ace Rimmer. Then
Yeah.
they had another episode referencing him and Lister's sort of descent into depression without him,
Yeah.
and that was a great episode as well. And that's it for the great episodes of the 7th season.
Yeah.
And then Series 8 happened, and they brought Rimmer back, and it was better in that regard,
Yeah.
but it was still bad. There was just something really missing about the show.
Mm.
It wasn't like the worst show on television or anything, but it was not the heights of Red Dwarf.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Red Dwarf is my favorite show ever, bar none. But the early seasons, it's always that way. It's always that way. Whenever like the ideas are fresh and everything is new and there's a whole world to explore, it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is because like
But I think Red Dwarf. Well, Red Dwarf kind of hit its peak in its sixth series,
yeah,
which is where it was like they focused on story a lot and they had some really good jokes, and it had a very weird ending. And then I think Craig Charles went to prison, or at least was in controversy for drugs, because he's an actor.
yeah,
What actor hasn't done drugs?
yeah,
And they were off air for a while, and eventually it came back with the 7th one. And I think one of the writers departed. I can never remember the names.
right,
And that's kind of the sign that the show didn't really have the glue anymore.
yeah. Was the seventh season the one where they had like the big fancy new sets and everything?
It definitely looked better on the 7th show.
Yeah,
Series rather, where it was because I tend to use the sort of my yardstick for how much better the show looks is based on how much better Crichton looks.
yeah.
Uh, has his costume improved this season?
Yeah.
And it's really like the one where they got all the new sets where they were back on Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Was the 8th season.
Okay.
Where they decided to bring back all the cast from the first episode, and although they didn't bring back the original Kachansky actress, which always bugged me.
Yeah.
But they had a different actress when she came back, and it's like, that's not Kachansky at all. Like, she's not even Scottish.
Yeah.
Was she Scottish or Geordie?
I do not remember.
You probably don't know.
I don't remember. It's been such a long time since I've watched the. I have to do that again. Like whenever tax season's over and I have a little downtime, I might have to marathon me some Red Dwarf.
I need to get the box set. I don't know why I don't own it.
There's
I had all of Series 3, I think.
There's a box set? Well, of course there'd be a
Of
box
course
set.
there's
What the
a
hell am
box
I
set.
thinking?
You think they wouldn't sell this stuff?
Yeah, I should. So, like, I'm guessing the box set has everything in it and, like, special shit and stuff.
By now I would have thought so. I want to get that and the Blackadder box set, because that's my favourite show of all time.
Yeah.
Blackadder Goes Forth is one of my favourite. Has the best ending of any show ever.
Hmm.
It's just... And it happened by act. Not seen it, non-existent audience, or Puncheon Master? Oh god, we have an audience member.
No, we don't.
When did that happen?
We have a
Oh.
we have a Geeks member that is incognito in the chat.
Oh god, damn it, Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm a box set apparently. But
As far
Yeah,
as your puns go, not the best.
but yeah, the for those who haven't watched Blackadder, watch it from the second series onwards. It's a great series, and it has one of the most poignant endings ever. And it's short as well. Like each series is like 6 episodes,
Yeah,
and
there
they
are a
only
lot of
say don't.
shows. There are a lot of shows like that in the
That's
UK.
British TV in a nutshell.
Yeah. And then you
Yeah,
have Doctor
it's
Who, which is like hundreds and hundreds.
Doctor Who is extraordinary in that regard because it
Yeah.
didn't used to be that way, as far as I'm aware. Like it started off probably just like any other one, but it was insanely popular.
Oh no, whenever it started out, there were well they did episodes, but they were like serials that were cut up. So they
Yeah,
would do episodes that were like 4 to 7 episodes long, and then they would cut it up into half an hour segments. So essentially, there was like 7 episodes, but they were incredibly long and then cut up for broadcast.
yeah, but more specifically though, it's like the recent Doctor Who is it kind of emulates American television a bit more.
Yeah.
Um, in British television, it tends to be short and sweet, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually sweet. But that's the
Yeah.
idea anyway. Focus more on writing and characters and not so much on big flashy budgets.
Yeah. Black Books did that too. They
Which,
had 6 episode seasons, but again, the first episode
yeah,
was the
it's
best out
very
of all of
common.
them. Yeah.
It's almost like it is this idea that I think it is based on budget constraints more than anything, but also because the writers want to do. I think I'm gonna guess here because I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think from what I understand of American television, each episode is kind of has a writer specifically for it.
It
Not
depends on the
necessarily like they'll
series.
have like a constant. Yeah, but they'll have like a constant thing going on, but there'll be a thing like this episode was written by such and such, and what's it called?
Uh,
I don't know who else.
it's not usually the writers
And
that they switch around. It's the directors that depending on the series. Like Xena had a lot of directors.
but I know with our shows, it tends to be just the one writer or one set of writers kind of doing the whole thing, and they're going to have several shows that they want to do. So they probably want to get like they're going to focus on Red Dwarf, then they're going to focus on another show, and so on. Like Ben Elton, who pretty much did the Blackadder series from the second. He went on to do he.
Sorry, I looked at the chat box. We're talking about writers, so of
Yeah.
course Moffat had to come into it.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that
Means
guy.
nothing to me. I know who he is, though.
I hate that guy.
But he Ben Elton, who kind of has become a bit of a pariah these days. But back in the day, back in the 80s, he was kind of uh, he created some of the best comedies, like The Young Ones and Blackadder, The Blue Line, The Thin Blue Line, rather. Just these really good British comedies that mostly stand the test of time really well. But he was also like a stand-up comedian as well, so he had his own career to do as on top of that.
Right. I wonder if Mike plans on
That said, we
joining us or
don't,
if he's going to keep doing the.
whichever he prefers, I guess.
I don't know.
One of the things that we don't really do anymore in British TV is make anything for kids.
Mm.
Like we used to have a lot of kids shows that we made, and it just doesn't happen anymore. And I
Mm.
don't know why. Like I think Thomas the Tank Engine was British originally,
Right.
and it became something else
Shining Time
elsewhere.
Station. Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
It was Shining
All I
Time
know
Station.
is that
Or yeah, it was Shining Time Station, and now it's Island of Sodor. Like it's just the Thomas the Tank Engine stuff. There's no station sex in between the things, in between the stories with the tank engines.
George
so
Carlin hosted it.
Oh my god. Yeah, George Carlin and Ringo Starr, and there's Mike. There's Geekosaurus Mike.
Oh, hi,
no longer
everyone.
a text box.
So, Mike, I should probably update you on what's going on. We obviously haven't continued like we were going to try to do the last time around because we attempted to continue and we've died horribly like 5 times. trying to continue.
Dragon
By
Ball's
we,
got
he
what he
means him.
wanted.
Yeah. And now he's a little more normal. He's a little more level now.
We're still fucking level 15. We've been talking for like a day.
We're at level 16 now, actually. We just leveled up.
Dang.
Just to shut me up. So, yeah, what do you think of that? A whole level.
Yeah. Yeah, we have been... It does go on for a while. Shit. So, Mike, we're talking...
Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine when I was a kid. We're talking TV.
Yeah, we're talking about television.
Got
As
that.
you may have guessed.
From sitting in and listening to like 10 minutes of us
But-
ramble on.
But yeah, I mean, in this country we didn't have any live action sections, so there was no host, and there was only one voice that narrated and voiced everything, and that was Ringo Starr from the Beatles.
Yep. He was Mr. Conductor.
I don't think you can get a more British example of TV.
Yeah.
Kids,
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, he was Mr. Conductor before George Carlin was. They were probably using stock footage at the time for the Shining Time Station version, so they just decided to get Ringo Starr to be Mr. Conductor so that they can keep the narrations.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny how translations work that way. Like with Power Rangers back in the day, they just took the Japanese superhero footage and just got new actors.
Yeah. And the
I
fact...
actually missed the Mighty Morphin series.
Yes.
Kind of want to go back and watch it.
Yeah, and they have the newly edited series with like all the bells and whistles and shit. I don't know. I don't know what my opinion is on that
I
yet.
kind of like the old effects.
Yeah.
Like with the
The
big
old was
toys
almost
that merged
good
together.
because it was so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more charming. Though,
I just
but that
remember
said,
that when my
every
dad
time I
had
see an
his-
episode...
When my dad
Sorry,
had
go
his
on.
first lung collapse was when the first episode aired, and he was just yelling out to my mom, like, you need to see this because this is hilarious and is not going to last 5 episodes.
And it's been how many
I hope
years
your dad
now?
wasn't a betting man.
Oh, considering he was sitting there with a collapsed lung, he already won one. Or lost one. Shit! Why can't I communicate verbally?
You don't lose your lungs in that
Yeah.
instance. They just get stapled back together.
Well, yeah, I know that. That happened to my cousin, actually. But yeah, I can't joke. I can't English.
But yeah, I mean, I remember, like, every time I see a screenshot of, like, Power Rangers these days, and it's like, they suddenly have, like, Tommy return as the Green Ranger. It's like, I've got to see that. I never do, but that feeling of, oh my god, my childhood is returning.
Oh wait, I could just go watch this on YouTube at literally any time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of strange, because that's something that you don't have as an adult, that feeling of getting up in the morning and wanting to watch a TV show and then wanting to go out and buy the merchandise of it as much. At least, not so much for me. I don't want to watch TV anymore. I don't want to go out and buy toys at all. I kind of wish everything was just here now and I didn't need money to spend.
Sorry, I'd like to add more
I
to the
would like a
proceedings. Oh, Jesus. There's like an hour of silence, and I go to say something, and Matt's like, oh, also.
Hold the hell up, everybody.
Jesus Christ. Now, what did you have to say?
It's because there's a bit of a delay whenever I'm talking, so if there's a silence, I don't know when you've started talking.
Sorry, I sat there. I think I may have waited for almost a minute before I said. It's like, okay, is he done talking? Is the guy thinking? Okay, I think I could say something now.
Nope.
I am your verbal axe man.
Pretty much. Jesus.
I'd have been on here sooner, but I had to get King Koopa a new filter because they discontinued the replacement cartridges for his old one. And his new one is an actual, like, turtle filter, which means it's heavier duty than a regular fish filter, and it was immensely more complicated to put together than the old one.
Yeah.
Also, I had to rearrange his tank, so it was funny just watching him be really confused for a while when I put him back.
Don't
The
turtles
wild is
have really
wrong.
good memories?
I sometimes think my turtle is just really, really dumb.
I actually think that about my cat.
I know
Well,
that
he's
about
got-
my cat.
He's got this like plastic mat of grass, of fake grass at the bottom of his tank that I weigh down with some of his rocks. And every couple days I'll find that he's somehow kicked away all the rocks and has tried to burrow himself under the fake mat of grass, only to get it caught on his shell, so as he's trying to swim out from under it, it just keeps moving around the tank with him. And he just gets more and more panicked. And I'm like, you dumb.
Do you ever think just maybe removing the mat?
I have, but then he'll move on to something else.
Yeah.
It was like that when I had gravel and I got rid of it, and he continues to be like that with other things in his tank.
Have you ever been tempted to put a bandana on it?
On the turtle,
Yeah.
I have been tempted to make aluminum foil spikes and tape them to his shell.
I can see what you're going for there.
King Koopa.
But
Problem is, if my hand goes anywhere near him, his head goes back in, so a bandana would probably be infeasible.
you need to just disguise it as the mat floor. Or just give him like ooze or something.
He'll stick his own head in it.
Oh god, I was looking into the I don't know why I did this. Probably because it was mentioned on Game Grumps. But the Michael Bay Turtles movie that's on the way.
Oh no! I thought that shit was canned.
Yeah, well, it's not.
Oh fuck!
Though he has explained that the turtles were never going to be aliens themselves, it was just going to be that the ooze was alien in nature.
Which is actually true to the comics, so I'll give him a pass on that. But I don't think that was the original plan, considering how he described them. Although then, I don't really think he cares, seeing as he's mainly just producing it, from what I can understand. But the thing that pisses
Seeing
me
as
off more
he's
than
Michael
anything
Bay.
else,
Yeah.
more than the fact that they've redesigned the turtles to look kind of doofy, except I kind of like the idea of them going more towards like the weapons and armor they would wear, but they've only done that with Leonardo. But the thing that pisses me off more than anything else is kind of just going back to Michael Bay might be a bit of a racist, as
No.
the Japanese ninja called the Shredder, also known as a Rokusaki, is now a white guy called Eric Sachs.
What? They even went as far
Yes.
as to like take his Japanese name and make it sound American. Are you fucking
Yeah.
kidding me?
Well,
I
when Street
wish I
Fighter
was.
turned M. Bison into an Irishman, that worked out so well.
Why did you do that to me, Mike?
You had just repressed it.
I had forgotten for that moment. I had something else to anger about, but I love Street Fighter more than Turtles, you bastard.
Oh,
I think this calls for
Or
whiskey.
turned Guile into Jean-Claude Van Damme.
See, that at least had Jean-Claude Van Damme.
He's going to go up Reaver.
And let's face it,
Kick that son.
Guile
That bitch bites his
always
ass
had
so
a bit of a
hard.
speech impediment anyway.
Yeah. Have you read any of like his attempts at philosophizing?
Which one?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
oh no.
No, I haven't.
Oh god.
I'm looking them up now so I don't misquote them. He rivals Jalen Smith.
Oh no. You mean Jaden?
Jaden, yeah.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith has philosophizations.
Twitter.
Is that a word that I've made up?
We
Oh,
understand,
that's
and
not
it's just his
fair.
Twitter account. He just says dumb shit that he thinks is deep, and it's not.
Well, he's like 6. What does he know?
He looks constantly worried about something.
Yeah.
So does Will Smith in all of his dramatic roles.
I think that's just because he thinks raised eyebrows equals drama.
There are some people that do think that. And Christ, I just taking notes for Jack Reacher. Like the female lead in that movie, Helen Rodin, not the actress's name, but the character's name. Her eyebrows are like perpetually in this sort of like kind of oh god sort of look.
Yeah.
I don't think she once cracks a smile or looks comfortable throughout the whole film. She always looks like something is just on the verge of collapsing, but we can't say it out loud
Yeah.
because then the bears will attack. We've got to be quiet and creep around this issue.
The bears will attack. And then the cage comes down.
I wanted to have so much fun with like it's called Jack Reacher and it stars Tom Cruise.
Okay.
And he's just trying so hard to impress everyone. I'm surprised they didn't have a scene where he's dramatically reaching for something.
Alright, so we've just killed a metal scorpion. Where in the world do these things come from?
Metallica.
It's not a place!
Could be.
No!
This is a
Metallica.
fantasy kingdom.
Okay,
Actu-
now I can't for sure confirm that JCVD actually said this, but the internet doesn't lie, of course.
Right.
A cookie has no soul. It's just a cookie. But before it was milk and eggs, and in eggs there is potential for life.
It hurts,
It's
Mike.
not wrong, technically.
It's not wrong, but it's stupid. It's stupid.
It's more just descriptive.
I have a feeling that
That's
if
what-
I misquote him saying something dumb, he will just magically appear behind me and break my neck.
Like Ninja Brian.
I think he's more likely
More
to
or less.
roundhouse kick you. Oh god, The Expendables 2. Like, he was probably the best bit about that film. Just because he actually plays a really good villain. But, they put him in a final fight with Sylvester Stallone, who... I swear, if he's not doing Rocky, he can't fight for shit. Like, I wouldn't say that to his face, because he probably could break me. But, in that scene, it was just like... Why is the fight between Statham and some guy more impressive than the fight between Jean-Claude Van Damme and Sylvester Stallone?
Probably age had
I
something
know
to
they
do with
were.
it.
I know they were dumb and tropey, but I still loved every part Chuck Norris showed up in.
I saw the first one. I think from the sounds of it, I need to see the second.
The first one's actually tame compared to the original. Like, the first one's just kind of... What if we did an action movie and just happened to cast a bunch of guys that are in action movies?
Yeah.
And the second one's more... Hey, we got all these action movie guys, let's make a movie out of that.
Still no Reb Brown.
uh,
Hasn't he melted now?
What?
Well, he's always looked a bit melty to me.
Oh. I think the latest thing he was in that Bigfoot movie where he gets his neck broke.
oh, there's another thing.
No, the one Spoonie reviewed.
Yeah.
There's another thing about Sylvester Stallone that you don't want to fuck with him. In the first Expendables movie, there was a take where he actually got his neck broke doing a stunt. That's the take they used.
Yeah. Stone Cold broke his neck.
Yeah.
That's a kind of impressive thing to walk away from. I'm not criticizing his general ability, just that one fight scene, to be honest.
Yeah.
Not that I'm ever going to meet him and get into a fight with him.
He's gonna be like, yo,
I'm
man,
pretty sure.
heard you talking shit about me.
Pretty sure I'd be more afraid of this lawsuit than I would the actual beating.
Hmm.
I'm sure that all of those stars have heard so much crap from so many people that it doesn't faze them anymore.
Yeah.
Mm. They really don't use Dolph Lundgren enough in those movies, though.
Yeah.
No.
The dude's a karate master.
Oh shit.
I'm trying to remember who else they said is going to be in Expendables 3.
Oh,
Mostly
God.
like
Mel
Wesley
Gibson.
Snipes and Harrison Ford and Mel Gibson, yeah.
Rumored Jackie Chan, I think.
Keanu Reeves.
He's not an action hero.
Rock.
He's been in one film.
Actually, The Rock might work.
He seems a bit too new, weirdly. And too good for that film.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, Jet Li was too good to be in the first one. And they kind of had to hide him, and they just removed him from the second one in the intro.
Was Antonio Banderas in any of the last two?
Not that I
I don't
recall.
remember him. Well, he's going to be in the third one.
Okay. I know Bruce Willis isn't going to be in it because apparently he's a dick.
Well, according to Kevin Smith, he is.
According to a lot of people, he is.
Mm.
Which is annoying because I like him.
Yeah.
Randy Couture is
then-
going to be in it.
Who?
Randy Couture.
I'm not sure I know that one.
I feel like I know that name, but I don't quite remember it. Apparently he's a UFC fighter.
That might be the guy from the first two.
Oh, right. He is in the first two. I just don't remember him at all.
He's the guy with the cauliflower ear.
Ah, right.
Yeah, he's that guy. The guy whose story about getting cauliflower ear is just an explanation of what cauliflower ear is.
Oh my god. I'm starting to get that feeling of repetition again.
I still love the speech that, who is it that makes it in the first movie?
Mickey Rourke?
Is it Danny Trejo?
Is he in the first one?
I don't remember who it was.
Machete? I don't remember him in
Who
the first one.
who was the older guy who would like always be working at the shop?
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, Mickey Rourke, and when he's making that speech to Sylvester Stallone about how he rambles on for a long time, but basically how he didn't save a bridge jumper.
Yeah.
Joey and I would always make fun of that scene, be like, I saw her standing there on the bridge, and then the lady behind the window gave me my order, and I was gonna go try to talk to her, but I mean, I had to make sure if they got my burrito right, because, you know, it's a late night service, they're always gonna get something wrong, but, well, anyway, I guess there's something wrong with it, because I got food poisoning the next day. You know, I've completely lost track of this story.
That sounds like me with every story I tell on this show.
There's, I remember in the second one, I remember at the end of the first one, there's this bit where Jason Statham has his, like, final words of the film, and it's just, I kind of really hoped when he threw the knife he'd just miss and accidentally hit one of the other guys. But,
Like it would go black and you just hear Dolph Lundgren going, God damn it!
yeah, or something
God
like that.
damn it, Statham! Like Brent from Archer.
But in the second one, they keep trying to play up the sort of buddy-buddy thing that him and Stallone are supposed to have, and it just never comes across that these two have ever talked to each other offset. Like, I don't know, maybe they are good friends, but neither of them just seem to have any kind of friendliness about them. I mean, I know it's Statham and he generally makes friends by headbutting them, but
I like to think he did that all his life, like that would be on his preschool report cards. Sociability. Tries to befriend other students by headbutting them. Needs improvement.
it seems to work after several concussions. It's strange because he's a weird kind of actor that's been in movies where he is just playing a character, like in Snatch. But there are movies where he's not either an action hero and not acting at all, and he just seems to be really out of his depth. Like, have you seen The One with Jet Li?
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
It's basically The Matrix if Jet Li was in it. And it's okay. You know, it's not the best movie. But Jason Statham's in it playing a interdimensional cop who is also American, which is never a good combination for Jason Statham accents. And it just seems so weird that he's in a movie that's about martial arts starring Jet Li, and he doesn't fight anyone, and yet they've given him an American accent, even though he could have come from anywhere in the first place. Like, why did you get him for this role?
Hell, maybe Americans in the alternate universe talk with British accents.
Sometimes, and sometimes really bad American accents. But it's like every time I rewatch Transporters or the sequels, it's like I get reminded that he was doing an American accent in the first two films. It's like, oh god, yeah, he was doing that, wasn't he? By the third one, he's just given up. I think they just decided, yeah, don't bother, Jason. You don't need to. It really didn't matter where you're from.
I just put a link in the chat that pertains to this conversation.
Oh no. Oh no, I can tell just by looking at the link. This ain't gonna be good.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
It is everything it needs to be.
I can't look at it.
So picture this, Tim. A dramatic chase down a road, very actiony. There's a helicopter and a black car chasing another vehicle, and they're shooting at it. One guy's got a bazooka. The helicopter's shooting missiles. And Jason Statham's in the other vehicle. But here's the thing: the other vehicle is a blue police box.
Okay.
Jason Statham is the American Doctor Who.
But, wait. There's something wrong with this. There's something not right about the statement that you just said. The words that came out of your mouth, they don't add up.
And yet it makes perfect sense.
But does it?
Yes.
I was
Yes,
talking
it does.
to, I think it was my dad, about if they made an American Doctor Who movie, who would play the Doctor, and I know it was rumored that Johnny Depp volunteered. Like he said he'd be interested, but the BBC
Of
said
course
over
he
a collective
did.
dead bodies.
No.
And my dad was, well, who else would play it? Morgan Freeman? I was like,
Wait a second.
Well,
you might be onto something there.
I come from a planet called Gallifrey. Oh, High Council.